This week, we'll be taking a regular website and turning it into an online store so easily that you'll be able to bounce back to business selling products and services in no time. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 crisis hasn't just forced us to stay at home. It's also preventing many small and medium brick-and-mortar businesses from making any income. And with so much business being conducted online these days, the question is why? Why are there still so many businesses not taking advantage of the internet? And the reason, as it turns out, is that there is no shortage of people who are still intimidated by the notion of creating an online store. And we're hoping to change that in this masterclass. So whether you're new to web design and yet to build your first online store, or you're an experienced web creator looking for a cool way to shorten and improve your workflow, this week we're showing you a simple way to get an online store up and running. What we'll need for this masterclass are the following items: a basic functioning WordPress website. And we won't be building a basic site in this masterclass, but we will include some links to where you can learn how to do that in the show notes below. We'll also need at least one product for obvious reasons. We'll need to have the Elementor website creator platform installed, and we'll be installing WooCommerce, the preferred e-commerce plugin for WordPress. We'll also need to add at least one payment gateway. These are online payment services like Stripe or PayPal, etc., who have great reputations for secure online transactions. Now, our test case will be a small business, a brick-and-mortar sports equipment store. Until now, they've only needed their website for providing basic information about the store and special offers. But with the local health regulations forcing the store to remain closed, they have no choice but to start selling products online. And this is what the store's website currently looks like. And if this site looks familiar, it's because we used the gym template kit to create this example really quickly. Now, because we want to grab our customers' attention from the get-go, we've come up with a great product to launch on our new online store, a home fitness package that will include a skipping rope, a pair of weights, a roll-up mattress, and a pair of resistance training straps. Just the kind of thing for certain masterclass presenters who could stand to lose a few pounds if they ever want to fit into their shirts again. Anyway, that's enough backstory. Let's get cracking on with the build. Whether we're professional or not, it's considered good practice to first put our site in maintenance mode. And this is easily done. In the WordPress dashboard, we'll just go to the Elementor tab and select Tools. And in the Tools section, we'll select the Maintenance Mode tab. And in the Mode drop-down menu, we'll select the Coming Soon mode, as it serves our purpose much better. Of course, we could also use this option here to upload or create a template with customized designs in Elementor, perhaps with a countdown widget ticking down to the moment we open our new online store, like this template that I created earlier. Now, when we're done, we'll save our changes and get to work with step 1. Download and install WooCommerce. Now, we'll install WooCommerce the same way that we install any other plugin. On the WordPress dashboard, we'll go to Plugins and click on Add New. We'll search for WooCommerce. We'll click Install. And once that's done, we'll activate it. Once we activate the plugin, the WooCommerce setup wizard should appear. And if it doesn't, we'll click on the WooCommerce tab that has appeared on our dashboard, select Settings, and here in the top right-hand corner, we'll click on Help, and on the left of this expanded section, we'll click on Setup Wizard and move on to step number 2, setting up WooCommerce using the Setup Wizard. This is as straightforward as you can get, and the guys behind WooCommerce have done a great job at making the setup process user-friendly. We'll input the store details, and as we're selling physical products and no digital or downloadable products, we'll leave this as it is. And then we'll move on to the next part. For now, I'll agree to using the user tracking because I personally have no problem with it. And in the payment settings, we'll select our payment options and link them to our accounts using our email address. There are a lot of options and they each have their pros and cons. And if you can use Stripe, then I would definitely add that as an option. It takes a little longer to set up, but they provide good service for low fees. And if not, PayPal is great too. The fees are a little higher, but it's quick and easy to set up and customers can use it whether they have a PayPal account or not. Now, as you can see, there are some other options below for offline payments, but we strongly suggest using the online payment gateways because we'll save a lot of time and effort on security and even the design. With the payment options set up, we'll move on to the shipping section where we'll select the weight and measurement units that will be simplest for our customers to use. And the next few items are recommended plugins that you could use if you wish, but I'm going to deselect them for now because we already have the option to link things like our Facebook and MailChimp accounts to our site via Elementor. So for us, this is redundant and we don't really need Jetpack either. So we'll skip that. And with the setup done, we'll move on to step 3, create or add our first product. We'll click on the Create a Product button, which will take us back to the Products tab, just below the WooCommerce tab on the WordPress dashboard. And this is where we'll be able to add, remove, and edit all of our products. In the Add New Product section, we'll fill in all of the necessary details of our product. We'll enter the product name and a description. We'll define the type of product, which in our case is a simple product and not a virtual or downloadable product. We'll enter our price and add a short description. Then in the panel on the right, we'll add our product image. And we could also take advantage of the option to add tags and categories, but I won't do that here because we only have the one product. We'll just check to make sure that we've set up our product perfectly before we click here to publish our new product. And with that, as surprising as it may seem, we've completed the hard part. Now let's have some fun and move on to step number 4. Add our product to the page and tweak our website's design to better suit its new purpose as an online store. To do this, we'll open the main page of our website in Elementor. And as you can see, we've made a few small changes already, such as removing the old special offers and adding an announcement that the physical store will be closed due to the health and safety regulations of the current situation. Now, the easiest way to add a product to our page is by going to the widget library in the editor panel and searching for the WooCommerce products widget. We'll drag it and drop it into the section where we want it to appear. If we had more than one product, we would also do the following. With the widget selected on the edit panel in the content tab, we'll go to the query section and we'll select our source as manual selection. Then we'll use the search and select for exactly that, to locate the product that we want to sell here. We can then go into the Style tab and customize the widget to suit the rest of our page's design. Then we'll publish or click on Save Draft. Now, if you're a more experienced user, you might want to try the more customizable alternative solution. This would involve using some heading and text widgets, perhaps even an icon list like we're using here. We'll also add a regular image box widget, and finally, we'll add a customizable Add to Cart widget from the library. Once we're happy with the way our product or products look on our page, we can move on to our cart and checkout pages. These two pages were automatically created when we installed WooCommerce, and being WooCommerce pages, there isn't too much that we can customize. So to make these pages look better, we created two separate headers in the Elementor template builder, and in the conditions, we assigned each header to only appear on the cart or checkout pages respectively. As always, we'll be adding links in the show notes below to videos on how to build headers and other components using the theme builder. The safest and simplest way to keep the design of these pages consistent with the rest of our site is by defining our website's default fonts accordingly. And this is because these are the settings that WooCommerce will turn to know how to present these pages. I should add that WooCommerce also includes a generic thank you email, which I feel is sufficient enough for this type of store. Obviously, we can always use the theme builder to create a pop-up with a thank you message, designing it exactly the way that we want to, and create a condition to have it appear only after leaving the checkout page. Alternatively, you could also invest in a WooCommerce add-on that will provide your site with a customizable thank you page or pop-up, but these do cost a little extra. Now with that done, we can move on to step number 5 and finish setting up our store before we set it running. Now most of the default settings should be good for the vast majority of online sites. And that said, we can go into general settings and edit things like store address, general options, currency options. In the product settings, we could select the option to redirect to the cart page after successful addition or selection of a product. And I'll select this because right now we only have one product. We're also showcasing our product on our homepage, but we could just as easily create another page and use this option here to link our site to that page. Now, as you can see, this is also where you can edit and define measurements, reviews, inventory, and so on. I wouldn't play around with the default settings in the rest of these tabs, and definitely not those in the taxes tab. However, I would like to spend a few minutes on the shipping section because it is an important part of an online retail business. Now, yes, there are plenty of efficient plugins and add-ons that could provide you with shipping calculators, even ones that are service specific and can calculate shipping via FedEx or via the USPS. And yes, some are free, but most do cost money. And right now we're trying to save money, or at least avoid extra costs. And if possible, also avoid adding anything to our platform that could slow it down or create conflictions. And as it happens, we can do this, and we'll do it all right here. The way that this works is by setting up shipping zones and shipping classes. I would strongly suggest that you research the price of shipping and delivery to the areas that you want to do business with. Find out what it will cost you to package and ship each product according to its weight. You might want to ship via registered mail. You might want to add an express postal service. Research here is important because charge too little and you'll lose money, and charge too much and you'll lose customers. Once we have all this information, we'll come here to the shipping settings. Now, the product that I'm currently setting includes a couple of dumbbells or weights, but I may decide to sell some of the athletic clothing too. And in terms of shipping costs, these are two different categories or shipping classes, which is why I'd like to start by defining my shipping classes first. For this demonstration, we'll just define two simple classes. We'll click here to add a class. We'll call it heavy items. The slug line here isn't important, and WooCommerce can fill it automatically anyway. We'll define the class for ourselves or our employees or co-workers as items weighing over 2 kilograms. And we'll create a separate class the same way. We'll call it light items and define it as items weighing less than 2 kilograms. Now, the system also needs to know which of our products are heavy or light, and we do that back in the Products tab, where we'll click on the Edit option beneath our product. In the Edit Production section, we'll scroll down here and select the Shipping tab. And here we can keep it simple. We don't have to define weights and sizes. Instead, we'll just select the appropriate shipping class for this specific product. With that done, we'll click on Update and return to the WooCommerce settings and back to the Shipping tab right here. As we know, besides weight, the other important variable that dictates our shipping costs is location. And that's what we're going to do right now in the Shipping Zones section. Now, our test case is based in the UK. So let's click on Add Shipping Zone, give our zone a name, call it Domestic, select a region, United Kingdom, and we could also do this according to postcodes or zip codes. Next, we'll add a shipping method. As I'm mostly interested in local business, and because I would personally like to make my life much simpler, we'll select the option for free shipping. I've already calculated the cost of post and packaging, rounded up that number and added it to the final advertised price. In fact, it's the base price of the product that I'm selling. Now, let's say we're interested in expanding to Western Europe. We'll just add another zone, call it Europe, enter all of the countries we want to sell to, and select a shipping method, flat rate. Now, I know the term flat rate might seem confusing to some of you right now, but it's just a temporary definition. If we ever want to make any changes to our shipping preferences, we can always come back here and click on the Edit option that appears under each category in each section, which, as it happens, is what we'll do here right now to define this shipping method. The first thing that we'll do is change the name of the method from flat rate to Europe regular shipping. We'll leave the tax option alone, but here we have the option to add a general shipping cost to this shipping zone, or we can define our shipping method according to the shipping classes that we've already set up. Here, I will define the shipping costs so that a European customer will pay $30 in shipping for a heavy item, like the home fitness package, or $10 in shipping if they order a light item, like a pair of sweatpants, for example. The default calculation type over here should suit almost all of our needs, so we won't touch that. And we'll click Save Changes before we forget to. Now, I also want to offer expedited shipping, so I'll add that here as an additional shipping method to this shipping zone in the exact same way by adding a new method, selecting flat rate, clicking on Edit, and redefining its name and the costs of this method according to the shipping class. And of course, we'll save changes. You may also want to check out the shipping options over here, where we also have some helpful self-explanatory options. And let's move on. In the Payments tab, we might want to rewrite the default description for the PayPal payment option. And this is in case we aren't having a separate credit card option. We'll want to be sure that our customers know that they can also click on PayPal to pay via credit card, even if they don't have a PayPal account. To do this, we'll go into the Payment tab, and next to the PayPal option, we'll click on Manage to access the details we want to edit. In our case, the PayPal description. Back in the settings, we'll skip the account settings because we'll be running our transactions the same as we would in the physical store where we didn't use accounts. Perhaps our online store will grow, which would be fantastic, but also an entirely different type of online store. Now, the last thing we should consider is in the Advanced tab, where we can make sure that all the pages are linked correctly, but more importantly, we might want to create a page for terms and conditions that are specific to our online business. And this is where we would link it to our site. Last but not least, we'll want to save all of our changes. And there we are. We are practically finished. And I say practically because we shouldn't be launching anything without testing it first. As you can see, we've added some animation to the widgets to draw more attention to our new product and our new store. We also made a few other minor changes to let customers know that the physical store is now closed. I'll just let you know that I changed the price of the product from $99 to 99 cents in the product details, and not here because this is just a heading, so that when I run test after test, I'm not transferring $100 each time. And if you do this, it's extremely important to remember to change the price back to what it should be once you're done with the testing. So now I'll click on the Products Add to Cart button, and this will take me to the cart page. And from here, we'll go to the checkout page. We'll just fill in our details. Now, as you can see, I'm using PayPal right now because it's probably what we're all most familiar with. Just running through the standard payment procedure. So far, so good. Now we'll go back to the WordPress dashboard, and in the WooCommerce tab, where we can already see that my order has registered, but if we click on the Orders section, we can see that our test order has registered correctly. And of course, we should also check our email account to make sure that we received our order confirmation correctly. And here it is, our order confirmation and the thank you message that I was telling you about. This week, we looked at how we can take a standard website for a small business and transform it into something as complex as an online store, but in the simplest way possible. Now, it's no secret that our main reason for doing this is to help the small businesses and self-employed professionals in our community to get ahead rather than lose out as we see our way through this crisis as best we can. If you have any tips and advice that could help other users with designing and setting up their first online store, then please add them in the comments below. And if you have any criticisms, we are equally interested in your thoughts. And if you've enjoyed this masterclass and you found it helpful, insightful, or inspiring, then make sure that you click on the subscribe button and tap that bell so that you don't miss out on our next masterclass. Because after all, our goal is to be the best at helping others excel at their craft. So stay safe, stay creative, and get productive. Thanks for watching. Cheers.